English phonetic and phonology. Long vowels, diphthongs and triphthongs. English long vowels. First, we have 5 long vowels. These are the vowels which tend to be longer than the short vowels in similar contexts. It is necessary to say in similar contexts because, as we shall see later, the length of all English vowel sounds varies very much according to their context. The 5 long vowels are different from the 6 vowels, not only in length but also in quality. If we compare some similar pairs of long and short vowels, for example, E with E, U with U, or A with A, we can see distinct difference in quality resulting from difference in tone, shape and position, and lip position. For this reason, all the long vowels have a symbol which are different from those short vowels. You can see that the long and short symbol would still all be different from each other, even if we omitted the length mark, so it's not important to remember that the length mark is used, not because it is essential, but because it helps learners to remember the length difference. The centering diphthong glides towards the e, schwa vowel as the symbol indicate. Example, beard, weird, fierce. Also, the starting point is a little closer than E in beat and vin. This diphthong begins with a vowel sound that is more open than the E in get and men. But for speakers to have these diphthongs has a starting point similar to U in full and pull. Many speakers pronounce O instead. The closer diphthongs have the characteristic that they all end with a glide towards a closer vowel because the second part of the diphthong is weak. They often do not reach a position that could be closed. Okay, let's start with triphthongs. Triphthongs are more complex English sounds of the vowel type. They can be rather difficult to pronounce and very difficult to recognize. For example, hour, fire, player, mower, employer. As you can see, triphthongs have 3 vowel sounds in a row. However, they are not always fully pronounced, since very often the second element, that is the E or U in the middle, is considerably weakened or left out altogether. This process is called smoothing and is very typical in British RP. It occurs less frequently in General American. Nasals and other consonants. A nasal consonant is a type of consonant produced with a lower volume in the mouth, where air comes out through the nose, but not through the mouth. It is prevented by a complete closure in the mouth at some point. The basic characteristic of nasal consonant is that the air escapes through the nose. The nasal consonants in English are n, m, and ng, as in nose, mouth, and ring. The 3 types of closure are bilabial, the lips, alveolar, tongue plate against alveolar ridge, and velar, the back of tongue against the soft plate. Okay, the consonants. Consonants in any speech sound, such as they're represented by T, G, F, or Z, that is characterized by an articulation with a closure of narrowing the vocal tract, such as a complete or partial blockage of the flow of air that is produced. Consonants are usually classified according to a place of articulation. The manner of articulation and the presence of absence of voicing, nasalization, aspiration, or other phonation. For example, the sound for S is described as voiceless, alveolar fractive. The sound for M is voice bilabial, nasal top. Additional classificatory information may indicate whether the airstream powering the production of the consonant is from the lungs or some other airstream mechanism, and whether the flow of air is ingressive or egressive. The production of consonants may also involve secondary articulation, that is, articulation additional to the place and manner of articulation, defining the primary structure in the vocal tract. Variable stress. It would be wrong to imagine that the stress pattern is always fixed and unchanging in English words. Stress position may vary for one of two reasons as the result of this stress on other works, occurring next to their works in questions, or because not all the speakers agree on the placement of the stress in some words. Word class pairs. One aspect of word stress is best treated as a separate issue. There are several dozen in pairs of two-syllable words, with even take out the spelling, which is different from others in stress placement. According to the word class, noun, verb, or adjective all appear to consist of prefix plus stem. I have here some examples like addict, addict, or addict. Number 2, conflict, conflict, or conflict. Number 3, contest, context, or contest. And number 4, contrast, contrast, or contrast. Aspects of connected speech. First, we're going to start with the rhythm. What is the rhythm? Rhythm is an event happening at regular intervals of time. The rhythm of a speech is the regular occurrence of a stressed syllable at regular intervals of time. Example, he arrived 6 o'clock. Okay, let's go with the assimilation. Assimilation is a change in pronunciation of a phoneme under the influence of its surrounding sounds. Example, news, this year, and want to. And finally, let's go with the intonation. In linguistic, intonation is a variation of pitch when speaking. Intonation and stress are two main elements of linguistic prosody. Intonation is a part of suprasegmental phonology. Intonation helps to recognize the language that you hear in the same way as the melody of a song. It helps you to recognize the song that you're hearing. Intonation is based on several key components: pitch, sentence stress, and rhythm.